What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro, back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Oh boy, do I have a good one for you guys today. We got this viral clip. It's been surfaced of Tucker Carlson absolutely going off. We know how Tucker can get when he's going on his rant, especially about the truth. And this one sparked some controversy, sparked a little bit of drama. Now I'm dividing two fan bases up. It's Tucker Carlson versus Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro has come out and said he don't like the things that Tucker Carlson said in this viral clip, and he wants Tucker to apologize. I'm excited to check out this clip because I've been hearing that Tucker Carlson didn't even say Ben Shapiro's name. So maybe the subliminals, were just too apparent, too obvious that he was talking about Ben Shapiro, that he had to take a little bit of offense and, lash back out. So we can get straight into this clip, man, see exactly what Tucker Carlson saying. I'm excited to see exactly what happened, why Ben Shapiro is so upset. He is absolutely, been raging on the internet. We're going to get straight into it, guys, and I'll get my thoughts on the back end of the clip. So definitely stick around to the end so you guys get my thoughts on the back end, guys. But let's get straight into it. Before we do that, though, make sure you guys hit that like button, guys. It does not cost a thing. Hit that like button for your boy, and also hit that subscribe button, guys. We're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. Let's get into it, y'all.
Hey guys, well, it seems as though there is drama currently going on Twitter. There's a lot of outrage right now. It's a big fight. It's Tucker Carlson versus Ben Shapiro. Tucker said something about Ben. He made a point, essentially questioning Ben Shapiro and others who seem to devote so much time to foreign conflict. Meanwhile, domestic crises continue to go on ignored. He didn't name Ben Shapiro specifically, but heavily implied that he was speaking specifically about Ben Shapiro. The internet's now going nuts. Ben Shapiro fans are now boycotting Tucker Carlson. They're dropping him, and then of course vice versa. I think the infighting is a little bit extreme here, although obviously I understand exactly why it's happening. We got two big names, I guess, pitted against each other. That tends to be the focus. People are taking Team Tucker and Team Ben. I'd rather talk about the actual concepts themselves. I want to have a discussion about this one because I think it's quite important. So let's try to stick to the ideas themselves. I'm going to show you what Tucker said. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so here's the clip that started an absolute storm on Twitter.
So I don't really care, but I did think it showed like the level of not just corruption, which I knew, but of like emotional instability and craziness. I mean, there are people, and I stopped reading any of it, but there are people on the right who have spent the last 2 months every single day focused on a conflict in a foreign country as our own country becomes dangerously unstable on the brink of financial collapse with tens of millions of people who shouldn't be here in the country. We don't know their identities or the purpose of their being here. Like stuff that's could destroy the country for real and make it impossible for my kids to live here. They've said nothing about that, and they're focused with laser intensity on foreign conflicts. And I'm like, at some point, I've got 4 kids. If I'm so caught up in the problems of my neighbor's children and completely ignoring my own children as they get addicted to drugs and themselves, I'm not against helping my neighbor's kids, but clearly I don't love my kids. I mean, right. that's the only logical conclusion, and they don't care about the country at all. And that's kind of their prerogative, but I do. Because I have no choice, because I'm from here, my family's been here hundreds of years, I plan to stay here. Like, I'm shocked by how little they care about the country, and including the person you mentioned. And I can't imagine how someone like that could get an audience of people who claim to care about America, because he doesn't, obviously. Right.
And the specific quote that caused all the drama was, "I'm shocked how little they care about the country, including the person you mentioned, and I can't imagine how someone like that could get an audience of people who claim to care about America because he doesn't, obviously." The implication is that Ben Shapiro does not care about America. Now, of course, I've defended Tucker Carlson a lot, but to be completely honest, I think in this case, Tucker probably could have played it a little bit better. I think the implication that Ben Shapiro doesn't care about America is a little bit of a stretch. I mean, he obviously does, and it seems as though he's dedicated most of his life to pushing American conservative values, especially targeting young people on college campuses. Maybe Tucker's statement was a little bit harsh, and obviously that's causing a little bit of a stir here. I don't actually think that Tucker thinks that Ben Shapiro doesn't care about America. I mean, obviously he's raising a family here. Tucker could have been a little bit more specific and a little bit more careful with the choice of words, that's for sure. At the end of the day, the actual essence of his argument, I think, carries some validity. Everybody wants to make this whole thing about Ben Shapiro, Tucker, Ben Shapiro, but Tucker was talking about the concept at large. Essentially what he was saying, or what he was advocating for, was America First philosophy. What he's saying is, every time you turn on the TV, or every time you're tuning into a lot of these big networks, there's always such an urgency and importance, such an emphasis on foreign conflict and foreign suffering, but suffering voices at home seem to fall on deaf ears. That's the frustrating part about politics and the public conversation, is the cult of personality element. There's Trump people, then there's the DeSantis people, there's Tucker people, Ben people, Tim Pool people, Biden people, as shocking and confusing as that is, but you get what I mean. It's always this emphasis on characters, it's always a freaking boxing match. But what gets lost in that is the actual important concepts. I could have very easily opened up my computer here, clicked the record button, and just doubled down on the whole Tucker point, accusing Ben Shapiro of not caring for America, he's an Israel shill, but I don't understand the point of that. I would rather talk about what's important, the point at large, and that's what Tucker is saying. What Tucker is saying is that over 100,000 American citizens are dying every year from fentanyl overdoses. We are talking about the destruction of the American working class. There's a level of hopelessness amongst particular American demographics that's so saddening to see. It feels like the death of the American dream. It feels like the ending of an empire. Domestically, we face serious issues. But over the last 30 years, the media has done nothing but talk about Israel and Ukraine. I mean, just look at government spending, for instance. There are so many problems. The southern border is one of them, but it's impossible to get politicians to do anything about these problems. Meanwhile, when it comes to funding Ukraine, in less than 24 hours, through bipartisan consensus, politicians in Washington are willing to mobilize hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars, to be shipped directly to the proxy war effort. That is the issue. And to be honest, I feel like it's a pretty bipartisan issue in a way. Leftoids love to talk about the military budget. We need to reduce Pentagon spending so we could have all of these social programs. Okay, well, I mean, that's essentially what we're talking about. What we're saying is, maybe let's not put all of this emphasis on foreign conflicts and foreign issues. Maybe let's not ship over billions upon billions of dollars to be funding war efforts abroad. Maybe let's take care of our own people. That's exactly what Tucker is saying. Tucker is essentially saying what Democrat socialists are talking about, except he's not saying, well, let's just take all that money and, create communism. Of course, there's a little bit of a distinction there, but the core of the point remains that there seems to be some warped perspective or a warped priority list where foreign issues take priority over the suffering of actual American citizens, the ones who are paying taxes into the system. And obviously that can't be right. Catherine Herridge said this just the other day during a news segment. I forget what the network is. Maybe it was CBS. She works for CBS, but obviously she does the media round as well. Anyways, I'll play the clip.
I just feel like we can't do enough reporting on our service members, especially those who are struggling to get services, who feel that their claims have been wrongly denied. Frankly, I feel that there are times when the Defense Department and the VA, it's not erring on the side of the veteran. And I think after 20 years of war, the global war on terror, so many are retiring with complex physical and emotional demands, and we are simply not doing enough, and we need to do more reporting and have more accountability.
It's exactly that. Military veterans, American heroes, are being shafted on a daily basis. And we're talking about Israel and Ukraine and whatever other country. The priorities are warped. Not to mention, the implication is that we have to continue to get involved in other people's problems, as if it's America's duty to the world, yet getting involved in other people's problems has simply made things more complicated, and arguably in some regions more dangerous, over the past decades of American interventionist foreign policy strategies. Maybe it's time to rethink the philosophy. That's what I got from the Tucker clip. Maybe it's time to focus domestically on what the American people need as a top priority before anything else. And so, my takeaway here is that that's a real issue. It's a real concern that I think is really important to a lot of people. It may even be a bipartisan concern. And that's really what I'd like the conversation to be about, rather than the drama that's currently going on Twitter. Maybe let's get our own house in order before we start telling other people how to keep an orderly house. Maybe let's prioritize and emphasize on our children who need us and not the neighbor's children. And from that perspective, I'm fully on board with Tucker. I think Israel and Ukraine are both massive distractions. I think we should be doing the best that we can to mediate a lot of these situations diplomatically, but the idea that we should be plundering American wealth to fight somebody else's conflict, it just doesn't make sense to me. And we've seen in relatively recent history that getting involved in all of these conflicts hasn't exactly made the world a better, more peaceful place. All we do is generate more conflict and create more enemies. I'm tired of fighting fights, and I'm especially tired of fighting fights on behalf of other people when we should be fighting for our people.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Coming from Liberal Hive Mind, definitely going to be sure to leave that original video link down in the description box below for those of you who want to go over there and check that out. And also for you guys to go over there and show Hive Mind some love. I hope you guys all understand, what Hive Mind was getting at there. He didn't totally disagree with Tucker. He was just saying he took a rather extreme stance, to go as far as to say Ben Shapiro hates America. He doesn't. I don't believe that because of, everything he's been part of, everything he's done. I don't believe that because of, the way Ben Shapiro has carried himself throughout his career. He's definitely put on display and shown us that he does love and cherish our country. I just really do believe, Tucker Carlson, I've been saying this, going to keep saying it. Tucker Carlson is one of those pioneers for the America First movement. And there is no censorship, on top of Tucker, blanketing Tucker, so he can't say these things and, push out these America First movements. As you guys can see there, that interview was conducted on Elon Musk's platform, X, formerly known as Twitter. And we know that platform to have no censorship. So Tucker's free to say what he needs to say, and, speak the truth without all these entities and all these, big media corporations trying to slam him down. Like Fox did in the past. I'm glad to see that he's finally being able to bring these situations to light, without anyone stepping in or intervening, because I do feel like we're definitely neglecting America. We're seeing this all throughout our country. I feel like they put out some very good examples of how we've been neglecting our people. Number one is our veterans, man. I feel like our vets don't get enough love. I just don't like the fact that our war vets and our vets are coming home to absolutely no support. I mean, the VA is there, but you have to almost, get on your knees and beg. And then they still try to hold out on you. This is almost sickening to see how hard it is for these veterans to get help. Other countries, I'm pretty sure, are not treating their vets like that. They're definitely, making sure that they are all right, not letting them live on the streets. Not to mention, all the resources that are being, exhausted by illegal immigrants. We're putting those people first in front of our American citizens who have, been in line, and they're essentially getting skipped over because we're having an influx of illegal migrants flooding the country. I'm glad Tucker Carlson brought this one up. I think he, threw that jab at Ben Shapiro, knowing that it would spark some controversy. This situation has went viral. This clip of Tucker Carlson absolutely slamming Ben Shapiro, saying that he doesn't love America, was a way to, get the public's attention, get Ben Shapiro's audience's attention. And once we get past the fact that, Tucker Carlson punched Ben Shapiro, we hear what he's saying. We need to focus on America first, in-house. We can't be worrying about the neighbor's kids. We need to be in our own house, making sure that, my kids grew up to be, healthy and successful. Before I worry about the neighbor's kid, you can help, but don't overhelp. I feel like we're overreaching in a lot of these conflicts. We're seeing, nothing's really, we're shoveling all this money out, foreign expenditures, trying to help Ukraine, trying to help Israel. I mean, I'm not saying we can't help, but I'm just saying, to what extent do we say, our resources, the, amount of money we're shoveling out isn't helping anything. It's just fueling more conflict. We need to step in and do some true mediation. That's my take on it, guys. Definitely hop in the comment section, guys, and let me know your thoughts. Tucker Carlson versus Ben Shapiro. I could see exactly what Tucker is saying. There is a bigger picture to this one. Work on America first. Not saying we can't, help the neighbors, but work on America first. It's very important. Definitely hop in the comment section, guys, and let me know your thoughts. Also, make sure you guys smash that like button for me, guys. It does not cost a thing. Hit that like button for your boy, and also hit that subscribe button, guys, as we're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. I'll catch you guys on the next one. We go.